the man who lost everything to build a $100 billion empire. He watched his company burn to the ground with $100 million in debt. 10 years later, he's worth $100 billion. This is how he did it. In 2008, while Wall Street was collapsing, one man was facing his own personal apocalypse. His name was about to become synonymous with failure. But what happened next defies everything you think you know about success. This is the untold story of how losing everything became the greatest gift of his life. Born in 1975 in a middle-class neighborhood in San Jose, California, young Marcus Chen wasn't exceptional. Average grades, average social life. But he had one unusual obsession. While other kids collected baseball cards, Marcus collected business failures. He'd spend hours in the library reading about companies that went bankrupt: Toys R Us, Blockbuster, Kodak. He wasn't studying their success, he was dissecting their deaths. His mother thought he was morbid. His father called it a waste of time, but Marcus saw something nobody else did: patterns. At 23, armed with $50,000 borrowed from his grandmother and insights from 1,000 corporate autopsies, Marcus launched his first company, a software platform that helped retailers predict market shifts. The timing was perfect. It was 1998, and the dot-com boom was exploding. Within 3 years, he had 500 employees, $100 million in revenue, partnerships with Fortune 500 companies, and Marcus was worth $200 million on paper. He was featured in Forbes. TechCrunch called him the boy genius of predictive analytics. Marcus bought a mansion in Palo Alto, a Ferrari. He threw parties that made headlines. He thought he'd figured it all out. He was 26 years old and he'd never been more wrong. It started with a single line of code. One of his senior engineers discovered a critical flaw in their algorithm. The predictions weren't as accurate as they claimed. They were off by 15 to 20%. Marcus faced a choice: come clean and lose everything, or bury it and hope nobody noticed he chose wrong. For 6 months, Marcus lived in terror. Every email, every phone call. He was waiting for the bomb to drop. Then it did. A major retail client lost $40 million following their predictions. They audited the software, found the flaw, and sued. The lawsuit opened the floodgates. 12 more companies sued. A federal investigation was launched. The board of directors voted him out. The media crucifixion was instant and brutal. Headlines read, "Tech Wunderkind was a fraud. The Theranos of retail tech: how Marcus Chen scammed Silicon Valley." By 2008, Marcus had $100 million in legal debt, 0 job prospects, a destroyed reputation, and had lost his home, his cars, everything. But the worst part? He'd lost something more valuable. His grandmother, the woman who believed in him when nobody else did, died of a heart attack during the trial. The stress, the shame, the disappointment. Marcus didn't just lose his company, he lost himself. For 8 months, Marcus lived in a studio apartment in Oakland, working night shifts at a warehouse. No friends, no family, no hope. He'd wake up at 4 a.m., unload trucks for 10 hours, come home, and stare at the ceiling. One night, he found his grandmother's old notebook, the one where she kept her recipes and random thoughts. On the last page, she'd written something dated 3 days before she died. "Marcus, if you're reading this, you've fallen. Good. Now you can learn to fly. The only difference between success and failure is what you build from the ashes. I love you. Don't waste this gift." Marcus read it 50 times that night. Then he did something he hadn't done in years. He went back to the library. Marcus spent the next year like a monk. He worked his warehouse job, but every free moment he was learning. Not about business, about truth. He studied behavioral psychology, game theory, human decision-making, and why people lie to themselves. He realized his first company failed because he built it on a comfortable lie. He told clients what they wanted to hear, not what they needed to know. The new idea hit him at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. What if, instead of predicting the future, you helped companies accept the brutal truth about their present? In 2010, with $5,000 saved from warehouse work, Marcus launched Truth Metrics. No fancy office, no press releases, Just one promise. We'll tell you the truth about your business, even if it kills you, especially if it kills you. The first client was a struggling bookstore chain. Marcus's analysis was devastating. You'll be bankrupt in 18 months if you don't change everything. They changed everything. They survived. Word spread. Truth Metrics grew differently than his first company. Slower, deliberately, built on actual value, not hype. By 2015, they had 50 million in revenue. By 2018, 500 million in revenue. By 2020, they went public at a $10 billion valuation. By 2024, $100 billion market cap. But here's what makes this story different. Marcus runs Truth Metrics from the same studio apartment in Oakland. He drives a 2015 Honda Civic. He still works shifts at that warehouse 2 days a month to remember what real work feels like. When Forbes asked why he lives like this despite being worth $100 billion, he said, "I'm not afraid of losing money. I'm afraid of losing the truth again. Comfort makes you lie to yourself. I need to stay uncomfortable today." Truth Metrics has 50,000 employees worldwide, has worked with 80% of Fortune 500 companies, and has saved an estimated 2 million jobs by helping failing companies pivot. But Marcus's real legacy isn't the money. It's the 873 letters in his office. Every single person who sued him in 2008, he tracked down. He wrote them personal apologies. He offered to help their businesses for free. 873 sent responses. Most forgave him. Some thanked him. A few became friends. Marcus Chen's story isn't about redemption. It's about something deeper. He says, "I didn't bounce back from failure. Failure rebuilt me into someone capable of actual success. The man who built my first company was weak. He needed to die. The difference between people who fail and people who succeed isn't talent or luck. It's whether you let failure destroy you or let it destroy the parts of you that needed to die." Marcus lost $200 million and gained everything. Because sometimes you have to burn down who you are to build who you're meant to be. What failure are you running from? Drop it in the comments. And if this story changed how you see your own struggles, subscribe for more stories of people who lost everything and found something better. See you in the next one.